Fun fact, if you know about me, you know that I love red pandas, and I find them superior to regular pandas in pretty much every way. They're built better, their fur is better,
I talk better, I walk better, my shoes fit me better, I get paid more than you.
they are more agile, they're just better. Then you have the regular panda over here doing absolutely nothing with its life but eat and get in harm's way. I have never seen an animal die this much from its own fall damage. He wasn't even escaping from a predator, he just fell and died. If this isn't the most useless creature if I ever saw one, then I really don't know what else is. What this has to do with the video though, absolutely nothing. But I'll tell you what though, Turning Red. The way some people were acting, I thought this movie came to life and slaughtered people's families. As if this film was the worst thing since fucking packaged peanut butter.
Turning Red is the worst thing I've seen. They might had chlamydia.
Like, my god, couldn't you guys at least wait until the movie came out first? Say whatever you want about this movie, but on the contrary to popular Twitter belief, Turning Red is actually pretty good. I know, right? What a surprise. Maybe we shouldn't listen to people on twitter.com that often, especially on the animation side.
Trust me, I'm one of them.
I like how this movie follows up on the semi-new Pixar trend of the film being just about everyday people doing everyday things and facing everyday struggles, with a very slight hint of supernatural elements to it. There's no big bad twist villain or good guy versus bad guy narrative, just people doing people shit. And I love that. Luca, Soul, Not You, and Encanto all contributed to this formula, and Turning Red is really no different, because I don't think it really needs to be. It used what it had, and the story seems to be very comfortable with telling a very enclosed and thematic story about growing up and growing through the most difficult stages of a kid's life, and how to deal with it when surrounded by the wrong and right people. Teenage hormones, pimples, voice crack, getting taller. If you're short post-puberty, then fuck it. You may still get made fun of, but I still love you. And probably one of the biggest offenders teenagers deal with, oppression and insecurities, because Lord knows we do deal with a lot of that. 9 times out of 10, if you're not a teenager right now, you have been or will be eventually, so I feel like this movie can relate to pretty much just about everyone, because you can look at the characters and go,
oh, you're just like me. You're just like me, for real.
And I like how the movie normalizes such things. Like, it's okay to be vulnerable and open up to people who really truly care about you. You're not soft for being emotionally expressive, you're just, human. However, though, the movie is more young girl centric, addressing serious issues like periods and growing up as a woman in an Asian household and having almost chronically illegal obsessions over the Backstreet Boys. It treats growing up as a woman with a very nice sense of normalcy. Maylin's mom being so supportive as to give her daughter vitamins, medicine, and several other hygienic pads was so real, but also shows how overly protective a motherly figure can be when raising a child. Not out of malice or anything, but out of protection, which as a result can lead to a dismissive feeling of her daughter's emotion and social life. And we don't really see that expressed that often in animated media. And as a non-binary fella myself that didn't really grow up with issues like these, the movie still manages to connect with me on a personal level, because it takes time to actually make me care about Maylin and her relationships with both her friends and her family. May's dad might not be able to relate to his daughter's issues, but he still tries to understand anyways. The whole movie I thought he'd just be the submissive simp father figure archetype that doesn't really have a say in anything, but when he sat down and had a genuine talk with May, I was like, yo, this guy really looks like the amazing outfit, and how her friends stick up for her even in the most smallest of inconveniences. Like, where the hell were these guys when I was 13? Whether it be good, bad, or in between relationships, the concept of forming an interpersonal understanding is a virtue. So I think it's safe to say that this movie is a banger for all genders. Yahoo! Yay! Yay! Another thing about this movie is its comedy, and I kind of see it as both an upside and a downside a little bit. Considering it's supposed to be a comedy movie, I expected to laugh quite a lot. But a lot of the jokes are kind of just, hit or miss for me. Personally, most of it was actually pretty funny, but other times the joke is told and I'm just in either a state of shock, cringe, or just secondhand embarrassment, or a mix of all three. But I think that's kind of the charm of it. Like when May just started to shake ass at the end of the movie to stop her mom, words cannot possibly fathom how hard I cringed there. But it works, and despite me cringing, a part of me said, "Oh, yo, bro, this is so cute ass." Because they're kids, and kids do silly goofy shit when they're in a silly goofy mood. Maylin saying,
Whoa, mama!
when seeing some hot guy is literally such a 2000 kid thing to say, and I chuckled probably way more than I should have. You can kind of clearly tell the people behind this movie really understand how younger kids sound and act in this current day and age. Unlike some other some other movies out there. The friend characters are no more than just the friend characters. They don't really undergo character arcs or anything, but I think that's perfectly fine. Their dynamic works with them just being the friends, even contributing to the humor just a little bit more. I was expecting this movie to have that one comic relief character that's only sole purpose of existing is to make the audience laugh, but ends up trying too hard and comes off as annoying rather than funny. Yeah, this movie doesn't really do that, because almost every character is the funny, quirky character in their own way, and it doesn't really feel forced either, and I can appreciate Turning Red for doing that. Now for the cat in the bag, the big whoop, the talk of the town, the big cheese, the animation. It's good. It's honestly good animation. The style is very stylized and more rounded compared to the blockier nature of other Pixar films, and even though art is subjective, I can understand why somebody would dislike the art style, but I wouldn't really consider it visually bad, The characters squash and stretch, the bean-shaped mouths move in weird ways that make it work, and overall it just looks like a really refined and polished movie. But yeah, Turning Red is good, 8 out of 10, kiss me on the lips, good night.